Before we get started today, I wanted to let you know that today at 8 p.m. Central European Time, Sleep Sheep has their Attack on Titan drop. I love Attack on Titan. I really enjoy watching it, and I'm really a fan. So I am excited because the merch looks so amazing. You're getting Levi's sleeves, which are just... they look dope, and the deck box is insane, not to mention the other border sleeves. Like, everything is just looking so clean, so you might want to keep an eye out for that drop if that's something you're into as well. And of course, don't forget to use my code SHADOW so you get 5% off your entire order at checkout, and use my affiliate link in the description box as well. You're helping the channel and you get immediately to the site, so you can be the first one to snatch up these amazing accessories. And yeah, with that, let's go ahead and get started with the video. Alright, so with the mega tins right around the corner, I figured we would talk about some cards you should probably be picking up because they are either not in the tins or they're just good in the meta and you want to do it before they go up in price. And by the end of watching this video, if you have any of your own thoughts, please make sure to share them in the comments down below, and also like the video if you like me doing these types of videos and sort of helping you with your investments. And for the first card we're going to be talking about today, it's not just one card, it is multiple cards, and I wanted to talk about Unchained stuff. Mainly I wanted to focus on the older cards actually, because Doom cards aren't expensive exactly, and they also seem to be at quite a steady price. For example, the Link Monsters is what I'm mainly looking at. But as for the cards you should be picking up, I want to focus on Abomination's Prison and also the Unchained Soul of Rage. Both of them are quite old, they are from older sets, and they received their reprint in the 2020 Mega Tins, which is literally 3 years ago. Now this might mean that they are going to be receiving some kind of reprint in the future. However, if this doesn't happen yet, because I don't really see where they want to fit in Unchained cards, it doesn't really seem that realistic to me, since the reprint set we're looking forward to is not really the Mega Tins because they are kind of mid and we know what the cards are inside. So what we're looking forward to is the Rarity Collection. And there is no Unchained stuff in there in the OCG. There's mainly staples, and I kind of doubted that they're gonna give the Unchained stuff reprints. We might get them in some kind of OTS pack. This is the only other thing I could think of. But if we don't, those cards are going to go up because they are old and because they only had a couple printings. And if you look at Abomination's Prison, it was always not exactly the cheapest card. It kind of remained up there because of the lack of printings, and now it's just going up and it's around 20 or 25 euros, which is still not horrible because this is the majority of money you're going to be spending if you want to play the Unchained deck. And why I'm focusing on the Unchained deck at all is because it's constantly topping and it's just such a nice contender right now. It seems like it really has an edge in this meta, and a lot of people are picking it up also because it's quite budget friendly. But you do want to make it even more budget friendly for you and pick up these cards ASAP so they don't go up in price even more. If you look at the Unchained Soul of Rage, it's literally around like 8 or 7 or 9 euros, something like that, and it might go even higher, and you need multiple copies. So you're still staying around the $100 mark if you're trying to pick up the entire deck, but you would rather do it sooner than later. And also another archetype which is just seeing such a spike in popularity, and it's still so funny to me, is Salamangreat. And I'm not saying buy into the hype immediately because the new support cards started to go up in price, but I'm not sure if the price is going to steady that soon. It's not like the support is that expensive. You can still get it, but I would suggest getting it sooner, especially if you have the Salamangreat deck from before. It seems like a decent contender right now. I'm still kind of on the fence about it still, but yeah, you know, people started to hype it up, the support went up, and now you kind of want to get it if you're trying to play Salamangreat. I'm not sure what's gonna happen with the deck, but it is getting frequent ops, which is still funny, a little surprising, but you might want to think about picking those cards up if you already own the deck. So that's going to be the Salamangreat of Fire and also the Raging Phoenix. And moving on to something else, I wanted to mention Magician's Souls. Now this might seem a little counterintuitive because there's no deck right now that's like utilizing Magician's Souls and also like having all these, you know, consistent tops or something. However, Illusion of Chaos received a reprint in the Mega Tins and they decided to not give the reprint to Magician's Souls. I understand that it had multiple printings, but still, you know, they are around 15 to 18 euros. It is not like a cheap $5 card or €5 card. And if you're trying to play that engine, you might want to invest in it. Again, I'm not certain when they want to give this card a reprint. And if Illusion of Chaos is accessible and you're trying to play any type of deck that's going to utilize the engine, because the engine in a vacuum is very decent. It's just that there aren't many decks utilizing it right now. However, if it doesn't receive a reprint for some time, the price is going to go even higher. And at that point, it's going to be kind of cringe to have to spend a lot of money for Magician's Souls. So with this card, like, I wanted to mention it, just throw it out there if that's something you want to invest into, but I'm not forcing you to do it because it might receive like a random reprint in the future. So with this one, you kind of need to decide for yourself. Another card I wanted to talk about, just because it's kind of funny that they keep doing it, is Exosister Magnifica. If I'm not mistaken, it's the only one that didn't get a reprint, or like it's an important one that didn't get a reprint. And if you look at the price chart, it, like, the graph is going up. And it's around 8 to 9 euros right now, which is kind of silly. And I hate when they do this, but they will always do it. And like I keep mentioning, the tins were kind of mid. And now stuff like that is just makes everything even worse. So yeah, you know, Magnifica went up in price. If you're playing Exosister or want to play it and you still don't have, you know, the entire core, just pick up Magnifica ASAP, because it's always going to happen that these cards that don't receive a reprint, they're gonna spike, and they're gonna spike to these absurd amounts, and it's just, yeah, stupid, like I said. So get it if you're trying to play Exosister. Now, speaking of archetypes, again, I wanted to mention Sprite. And this might also seem a little weird, but hear me out. In my opinion, if anything gets hit, it's probably going to be Sprite Blue. And people might disagree with me. If you disagree with me, please let me know. Or agree, whatever, share your thoughts. So Sprite Blue might be getting hit, but some of these other cards still haven't received a reprint because Power of the Elements is not in the tins. So if they just decide to randomly give Blue a reprint or hit it, the other cards might go higher and Sprite might still be played as like a tiny engine. And at that point, some of these ones are going to be kind of annoying to have to spend money for. Like Sprint is around almost 10 euros, and then the Gigantics are around 4 or 5, Starters are around 4 or 5. So if you're trying to have a Sprite core, I would suggest investing into it right now, because I'm not certain that Sprite is like at the top of their list of cards that need to get a reprint. So as an engine, it's always going to be good unless they like hit it very hard, which they probably won't do. So if you just want to have it to pair it up with some other engine that you might play, or you want to own like Sprint, for example, because it's fairly generic for certain decks, like, I would suggest getting it, because you're not going to spend a huge amount of money and you're not actually investing into the most expensive card, which is Blue, which might get hit. So it is up to you, but I did want to mention it because if it doesn't receive a significant hit on the ban list, some of these not yet reprinted cards are going to go up, and it's just going to be annoying and a hassle to have to get all of them. And as for the last card, I decided to mention Rindbrum. Now this one is very funny because it wasn't expensive at all, and now it didn't get a reprint in the Megatins. And why it was expected for the cards to be reprinted is because it's from Photon Hypernova, and Kashtira cards received a reprint, and it's just kind of like, they knew what they were doing. Chimera stuff is extremely popular, it is consistently topping, and Rindbrum is a very important part of the engine because mostly that's what you're going for when you go for Brand Fusion. There are lines with Lobelion, naturally, but Rindbrum is just such a nice card in that archetype. It really ties everything together with the branded side of things, if that's the version you're playing, and it's just gonna go up in price with no reprint. It's just kind of lame because Alba Lenatus received a reprint, Rindbrum didn't, and it's again one of these cases where they just decide to not reprint something for it to go up in price on the secondary market or whatever, and them having to like reprint it later and maybe push a certain product. I don't know. It's just kind of stupid, and I did want to point out that if you're trying to play Chimera right now, not to mention that you need to get all of the Chimera stuff because that's going to go up in price as well, but I keep mentioning that, so I guess that's another one, like a bonus tip. Please get the Fusion because it was like around 10 or 11 euros when it came out, and now it is going up, so just get it. It's gonna go even higher in my opinion if Chimera keeps doing well. So yeah, please get this, get Rindbrum as well. I wouldn't say they are going to hit Branded Fusion, so the version with Branded might still be viable even post the ban list, and at that point we're not gonna see a Rindbrum reprint, so just yeah, you probably have to get these cards. So with that being said, that's going to be the last card on the list actually, and hopefully you enjoyed this video and maybe got a couple ideas for cards you have to be getting right now if you're trying to play competitively and not spend a ton of money. And like I said before, if you enjoy me doing these videos, please let me know in the comments, and also by liking it. Make sure you also sub and ring the bell so you are notified when I post videos, and I'll see you in the next one.